your CV or resume. In this lesson, you'll find out what a CV is and what you should include in your CV. So, what is a CV? Well, it's a brief document that shows your education, qualifications, and work experience. It should also include some personal information, and you use it when you are applying for a job. A CV should be no more than 2 sides of paper. You don't have to include every job you've had. For example, if you have been working for a while, you don't need to include the jobs you had as a young adult and teenager. The first thing to go on your CV should be your name, your full name. You should also include your date of birth and, of course, contact details. For some jobs, you might want to include your nationality. The first section on a CV is usually your education. Starting with the most recent, here you should list the schools, colleges and universities you have attended and the qualifications you achieved at each one. You need to include the name of the educational institute, for example, the University of England, the name of the course or qualification for which you studied, for example, undergraduate degree in the English language, the date you received this qualification, and you might want to give a 1-sentence summary of the qualification, followed by 3 to 5 bullet points to add additional information if you think this is needed. Perhaps the most important part of a CV is your work experience. For each job, you need to put the position held, your employer's name and address, the date you started and finished the job, and perhaps a 1-sentence summary of your role. Once again, followed by 3 to 5 bullet points to give extra information, if needed. Do this for each relevant job for the position for which you are applying. You might want to include some additional skills. This is particularly good if you have limited work experience. If English isn't your first language, and you are applying for a job in an English-speaking country, or a company that uses the English language, including your English level is a good idea. Try to keep your additional skills relevant to the job for which you are applying. Skills that show that you are able to organize or present, or are a good team player, are great for CVs. Finally, you might want to include some references from past employers. If you are applying for your first job, you can use a school, college or university teacher or lecturer as a reference. You should include the person's name, the institute or company for which they work, and their contact details. Some people prefer to put references available on request on their CVs, and then only give out the contact information for their references during an interview or when a job offer is made. Your task. Do you already have a CV? What information would you include on your CV? Who would you use as a reference?